Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli.
Welcome back to
The Cimorelli podcast.
Woo! So Brandon.
Season 5.
Hello, guys. Welcome to season 5. Oh, wait, I gotta look there. Welcome to season 5. Can you believe it? I realized I never thought of myself as a podcaster at all.
No,
and I was like,
we
wait, guys,
are.
we're
Oh my God.
podcasters.
We totally
I got
are.
added to my bio.
5
We are
seasons, it's
podcasters.
Yeah, we have 5 seasons. Well, not yet, but we almost have 5 seasons. And thousands of people listen. We're podcasters.
I
never
got
thought
it
about
in my bio.
We're
So,
podcasters.
guys, I have to say thank you for making us podcasters.
Yeah,
we
this is
love
really
it.
a dream.
It's fun. We love doing it. It's great. Yeah, dream come true. It's what I always wanted as a kid.
Amy just stole my joke.
Oh,
What?
I repeated you.
I said, OMG, I gotta add that to my bio.
And then I said,
Haha.
"Oh, gee, I
no
gotta
one
put it
heard
in my
it. She
bio,"
goes,
and I meant to say,
I gotta add it to my bio.
because I heard you say it, I'm saying it back to you.
I'm pretty sure Lauren said in another podcast that was her pet peeve.
Yikes.
I did.
Okay.
I
Okay,
repeated
ladies.
it back to you because I heard you.
Yikes.
Okay.
I meant to say 2, okay? I need to add it to my bio too.
Okay. Anyway,
Lauren
if you're
started
just tuning in, I'm going to tell you about this podcast. The Cimorelli podcast is a fun, uplifting podcast where we also focus a lot on self-improvement and personal growth, and we share juicy stories, discuss personal topics, and we get vulnerable and real with you guys. Every other episode of this podcast is available only on our Patreon, and our Patreon actually funds the podcast. So that's the reason we're able to do the podcast in the first place. And Patreon gets all these episodes that you guys see on YouTube a week early. So they saw this one last week. So if you want to jump on our Patreon, there's tons of awesome stuff on there. We have like tips and tricks videos where we teach you basically everything we know, honestly. All the best things we've learned that have helped us in our lives, help us grow, random things that are just fun, whatever. And then we have so much stuff, so much extra content on there. If you like getting to know us and learning from us, we're just trying to teach you guys everything we know, honestly, because we wish someone would have done that for us. So that's what our Patreon is. Link in the description, I hope, I would assume. So go there and join our Patreon, and you can be a part of funding this podcast, and you can get double the podcast and tons of extra content on there. So today's topic of conversation is going to be when or how to know when to give someone a second chance.
Ooh.
So before we jump in there, we always start with highs and lows, where we tell you guys the high points and the low points of our week. We're going to start with the lowest here, aka the shortest. Amy. Get it? And then we'll go to the highest.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
The low to the high.
I mean, it makes sense. Well, today we're going to do some painting relating his and laws, aka you win some, you lose some. So what I won this week was I painted a great picture for a treasured little friend. And then
Sounds like you painted it for a dog.
well,
Treasured little friend.
she's as hyper as a golden retriever.
Okay.
My low, the one I lost, was I ruined like maybe 3 paintbrushes this week, maybe 4.
What?
Because
How?
I forget to wash them.
Amy.
And then the paint dries in them and then they don't work the same.
Amy,
And then
I
I
think
dry.
yes.
no.
I've done that
Amy,
before.
I'm pretty sure you can just soak them. Put them in a cup of water. Guys, I've done this many times.
Sounds fake.
Soak it. No,
I will try it.
Even I use a paintbrush to glue my puzzles, and it's so dry and stiff. Soak it in
Tips and
hot water
tricks.
for a day or 2. It's totally good to go.
Whoa.
Soak it.
Try
Okay,
You didn't
I
ruin
will
it.
attempt it.
Try it and
We'll
let us
see.
know.
We'll see.
Okay. So the highest person in the band, which is me, which is tall. That
Guys,
sounds
that
kind of
sounds
bad.
weird. The tallest.
Okay, but let me say, one time we were in, I think Spain, and one of the fans, she was trying to tell me that I was tall, and she said, "You are so high."
And you were like, what? Does that
I was like, I think she means tall. But so the tallest person, that's me.
oh.
So my low, I'll just start there so we can end on a high, climbing the mountain. My low was that this is curse me and my snobbery about pens.
Yikes.
I
know
I'm so
exactly where this is
specific
going.
about my snobby standards of what pens I will use and buy and keep in my purse, which is so somehow
You need to get a pen bag.
I knew
One
it.
of those pencil bags?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, I should.
Or just a plastic bag.
I somehow left a pen uncapped, and
Never heard of this
I
before.
only use like not ballpoint. I don't know, ink, whatever. I don't know what they're called, but the really
Ink blot.
no, not fountain. They're just like the really inky pens. and it literally
Were they
exploded
liquidy?
all over my purse.
Catherine
Every
Ann.
pocket is covered in ink stains, and it's not like, oh, a little pen dab. No. The whole thing is like black, splotchy. So I went on YouTube for probably 2 hours. I tried every hack. You know what I ended up with?
You should have filmed
A
this.
horrible
your
looking
story.
purse that had, oh yeah, I probably should have, but I was too distressed.
That would have been so entertaining.
And I was covered in like water
the
and
purse I bought
rubbing
you?
alcohol. Yeah,
Gosh dang it.
I know. It was a really cute purse. I had it for like a year,
Babe,
and then
a big question.
it
Has
died.
this ever happened to you before?
Millions.
I can't answer that.
Has this happened to you about 10
cannot-
times before?
Yes.
Has this ever happened with a water bottle?
Okay, I learned the hard way. Don't put water bottles in your
Has
purse.
this happened 20 times with a water bottle?
salad dressing too?
Yes.
laptop?
Okay. Listen, I was bringing leftover salad to work, and I put it dumbly. It was very dumb in the same bag as my laptop, and I put salad dressing in my laptop. My MacBook broke. So that was a bad move. So anyway, I guess there's a pattern of this. Wow.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe I should
don't
just-
say.
I need to stop putting liquid items in my
Stop.
purse.
Yes.
That's the truth.
You
Okay.
got pens. Okay.
How? Why do you need a pen? I'm right.
So
What's your
my high, other than the
You
fact that I
always need a
gained a
pen.
lot of knowledge about ink stains, what a great high that everyone wants to have.
You'll need it.
Is that I finally, so I don't know if you guys didn't know, I got really, really sick over the summer, and I was sick for like almost 2 months. I just didn't leave the house. And
Yes,
so,
you
yeah, I
did.
didn't leave the house. I didn't really have much of a summer.
Yes, you did. You're like, I'm going to volunteer.
No, that was after 2 months. That was at the end of the 2 months.
Okay.
That was like anyway. So I finally went on a date with my husband. Oh, I'm bragging, Amy. Okay, sorry.
brag.
I
That's
went on
all
a date
you
with
do.
this guy that I live with that I happen to be committed to for my life.
And
So
you're in a
I'm-
contract with the
cousin.
government with. Okay.
yeah, my contractual person. And it was really fun to go on a date with him for the first time in like 2 months. And we just went to dinner and we went to ice cream in this really cute little area. And I was like, wow, to live. What a world. So-
Honestly, it does feel great.
yes. When you're trapped at home for 2 months and you leave the house, you're like, wow, this is so fun. Everything old is new again.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so my low was that I had to cut soy and dairy out of my diet because I think my son Barrett might be might have an intolerance to them. That's a common thing. Not common thing.
Oh my
that's
gosh,
a thing
that's
that happens.
the first time I ever heard you say my son. I was like, her son.
My
Her son.
You have a son.
That's the thing that happens with some babies. So that's a low because soy
Contractually, you're
Stop it.
contractual
soy is
child.
in like everything in case you didn't know. So I just make everything kind of from scratch. My high though is that I made a great meal plan and I'm really excited about all the meals. Kath came over and helped meal plan with me, like meal prep, not meal plan, meal prep and like cook a bunch of stuff and
Oh, we
freeze some
made
stuff.
some lit meals.
So that was my high. I got some great meals.
Wow.
Wow,
Good
love
for
being
you.
part of the high.
Scratch.
Love that.
Okay, my low. So I had this really weird day where I felt like I was being electrocuted. I don't know if you guys ever felt this. Like, I
Yes.
just had so much energy. It wasn't even like anxiety. It was just like I am being electrocuted, and like it was very disturbing to me.
I would say,
And
yeah.
then
Why is that disturbing?
because it's freaky. I'm like, I can't just like chill. It's just like, bzz, 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 and I was like, what the heck? And then my high was I had a good time with my friends. We had a grilling night, watched a nice movie.
Wait,
it
like
was
you grilled
great.
Grilling
like,
night.
yes.
What else
For some
would
reason
you
I thought
grill?
You were saying like
What
we
would you
grilled each
grill?
other. Like
Yeah.
we like, you know, like when you grill someone, you like ask them a bunch of
Kat,
questions.
why would you do
Okay,
that?
so
to your
Kat
friend?
apparently has grilling nights like that. We had a normal grilling night that you'd
With
think
the
of. Someone says grilling night, and it was just a good like girl time. So
I
it was
didn't
fun.
come to
Love
that
it, love
part of
it.
Wow. I listen. My high was I got to try on my wedding dress, and it was
Aw.
beautiful.
Superb.
love that.
Yeah, Lauren's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. You didn't send me pics of that.
No, I was just saying, like in remembrance.
You didn't say
In
pics of that.
remembrance, yes, it was
Love
great.
that.
It was really fun, and it was beautiful. I was beautiful. My low is actually a current thing. My hair. I'm like, no, I don't hate it. This is confusing.
Okay.
It's like,
I-
don't be alarmed.
No. I'm not like, ooh, my hair. I actually love my hair, but I have no vision.
But that's okay. If
No,
you
no,
like
no.
it right now, you
Listen
don't need
to
a
me.
vision. Oh,
I don't know what I'm doing long term.
but
Am
that's
I?
okay.
Stop. This is my time. And every time Lauren's take, it's not Lisa's take. This is Lisa's take.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know if am I growing it out Dare I grow it out? Am I cutting it off? I see pictures of my bob and I'm like, it looked good, but it didn't look better than this. Do I want to go super short again? Oh, it's so much maintenance. I don't know. I'm really, really at a loss. And I feel like, was that just a phase? Did I age out of it? Do I just want to just let it grow again and not cut it unless I absolutely have to, which is what I did before? Like,
the old Lisa's back.
not the old
Oh
Lisa,
my
but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm really lost and I've lost my grip and I'm losing my direction and I just have no clue.
Starting to trip.
I have no
Losing your
clue.
grip.
Exactly. So that's just a constant low for me where I just look at my hair and it's usually I would be like, oh yes, this is what I want to do next. And now I'm like,
You got like
Maybe just live in the moment.
I know, but it's hard when you don't know where you're going.
Just live in this
It's a road
moment.
trip. It's not,
okay.
I didn't move into a house.
Yeah, so you're on your road trip, and then as soon as there's a place to turn, you say, okay, do I turn or not?
Lauren,
and you just keep
That's
going.
your problem. There's always a place to turn.
No, there's
Any
not.
day you want, you can cut your hair.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my low.
maybe like something will strike you soon.
Okay.
I think that brings us to our next segment, which is our spicy advice question.
Q&A.
Wait, why did I go advice?
Spicy
I think my mouse was
Spicy
like, okay. Anyway, our spicy advice question.
Q&A.
What is it?
It is from our patron Emily Grace. Love the name. It's really nice.
Hey,
It's
That is a
Emily.
nice name.
So she said, this is really unique. I don't think we've ever been asked this before. She said, how do you give constructive criticism to others?
Ooh.
Here's the first thing. You can't be a jerk in your normal life. That's the first thing, because if you're kind of rude to people, even if you aren't rude about your criticism, like it will be offensive just because they're like, you're kind of rude to me though.
Oh my gosh.
So your first tip is be not rude and be nice and let people know like you're on their side so they can
Wow.
actually listen, because no matter what you do, they're not going to listen if they're like, ooh, you're rude to me.
Right, Laura, you give
True.
constructive criticism all the time. So what do?
She does that.
I feel
It's
like you normally are
true.
like, hey, can I give you a tip? Laura
No,
does
but-
that. She does that. She goes, hey, can I give you a tip?
Lauren,
If you wear this like this, it will look way better.
Yes, but
This
this
is
is
so
just my
true, though.
pre-roll for it.
yes,
though.
because you do
There's
always act
tips
like you're on
too,
people's
yes.
sides. You genuinely look out for people all the time.
Yes,
so
I
if you
do.
give me a criticism,
I
I'm
get
like,
it. I see
Lauren's
what you're
got my
saying.
back.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say that so harshly, though. I'm just saying it will be easier for people to listen to you if you already show them throughout your life that,
Yeah.
like, you care and you're on their
Wow.
side. You're not always just criticizing them unconstructively.
Wow.
true.
Yes.
Anyone have any tips before I go?
Okay,
I'm
I
really
have
great
one.
at this.
If you can, if you can ease their fears before you get to the criticism, that will help. So if you think about them beforehand and think, I think when I say this, it might make them think that I'm saying I think they're a bad person. So
Yes.
you start off with, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Make sure you're in good conditions, and then, like don't just do it out of nowhere in a bad time. Have good timing, and then say, so I just wanted to give you some constructive criticism or whatever it is, and I want to
Wait,
make
what
sure.
are we thinking is the constructive
mean, it could be,
criticism?
like,
What does that
anything.
mean? Like,
Like
it's just like you see something they're doing that you think is like hurting them, basically.
you
and make
feel
it do
like a
better.
you feel like you're in the right place where you need to tell them. I don't know what it is. So
Okay.
you just say,
You need to correct.
I want to make sure this doesn't come across like I think you're a bad person or something, because I definitely do not. I think you're a great person, and that's why I want to share this with you, because I think it'd be really helpful for you. Then you say it.
Yes.
That helps them to not be thinking she thinks I'm a bad person the whole time you're talking. That's my tip. I won't go into too many tips.
For me, when someone's like editing a video for us or something and I have to give notes, I feel like that's kind of a constructive criticism sometimes, especially if it's like they're editing in general. I don't know, but
yeah, you could say things different ways.
yeah, but I always just point out what I like first. Say something nice. Say something about them that lets them know, like, I think you're great. And I think this project is great. Or even if you don't, like, this has great potential.
I'm
Like,
really excited about
put it
this
in
project.
the most positive light possible. That's my strategy. So then they're like, they feel encouraged to
True.
do it, and it sounds easy. Don't make it sound like it's the end of the world and it's gonna be really hard to fix. And like, I don't know what you did. Then it's like, oh my gosh,
I don't know what
Oh,
you did.
I think a good tip is giving the benefit of the doubt to them. So like
Yes.
like
yes.
something being like, I could start off by being like, so I don't know if you care about this, but I noticed this thing. Or like, I don't know if you realized you were doing this, but this is how it came across. Instead of being
I don't know
like,
if
well,
you
you
meant
did this thing.
That's
It's
good.
like
Oh, yeah.
being like, oh, I don't know if you meant this. Like, maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Or if you meant it that way.
And also not being so like black and white about it is really the biggest thing for me. Is like like not assuming you know exactly what they even did or why they did it or what they were thinking, just being like, so like, did you mean this? Like asking a question first is really
Like asking
disarming
for a
too.
friend. Did you mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Any
makes it
other
more of a
tips?
discussion
Yes.
instead of a lecture.
I would
Yeah.
say don't talk to other people unless you have to before you give that person your constructive criticism. Because you don't want to getting back to them that you were talking about them.
Ooh.
That's
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
true.
Unless it's like unless you need like some guidance on like, oh, is this something I should actually say to them? Like maybe talk to one person.
Yeah,
And
talk to
the
someone
way
that you, can trust.
talk about it, you know, if you would want someone to
Yeah.
hear that you said something, don't say it because these days anyone will blab.
You will hear everything.
The government, your iPhone is always
Government
hearing
will
everything
blab.
you're saying.
The government
All
will
right.
blab to your friend.
Cat's tip.
I don't really think I have any tips. I don't really like giving constructive criticism.
Oh, one other
I
thing
just
to
kind of
say.
think like people will probably notice at some point what they're doing.
Okay.
Unless someone's
Okay,
They
unless
that's
won't
someone's
know.
truly doing something that's hurting them, and I'm like really concerned for their well-being, then I might.
It's like,
Then I would.
It's
I would definitely.
important to
No.
give it.
I would
You
say
have to
something at
tell
that
them.
point. I would also say this is weird, but like if you're gonna give constructive criticism, then you have to be open to the fact that someone might give some to you. So
True.
if you're criticizing someone else, even if you are completely well-meaning, then you should try to be as receptive as you would want them to be for you. So it is like a two-way street. Like I'm going to say this to you and then I'm open if you have anything you want to say to me. You know, like I just feel like you kind of are opening up Pandora's box if you do that.
That's true.
So,
Last tip.
Saying something that's kind of like, I know you don't want to be like this, so that's why I'm telling you this, because I don't think this is like the kind of person you want to be.
And the
It's
person
like,
that
okay,
you are.
like we're on
Love it.
same side.
Love that.
Lauren's a
All
master
right.
of this.
Thank you for your question. If you want to be, you want to have the chance to be that question, the spicy advice Q&A question.
If you want a chance to be that question,
Yeah, if you want to be embodied by a question.
whatever, you know what I mean, then join our Patreon. That is where we get the questions from. That's also where we get the questions for Lauren's take.
Ooh.
So
Love
you want to be a
that.
part of that. Okay, so we're jumping into our topic of conversation, which is how to know if you should give, well, it's kind of like how to know if you should give him a second chance. It could be anyone, honestly. But
I
you know,
think we're gonna
thinking
talk
like
about
romantic
it.
relationships.
Yeah,
So you
but
can
you
apply
can-
these to friendships
you can apply
too.
these to friends, but
Or
yeah,
like
that's
other people. You know?
Okay, so starting this whole topic off with a statement. I have this belief that rejection / breakups bring out people's true colors, because we all have our worst sides and our best sides. Okay, so those worst sides, those true colors in there that you try to hide from people, those come out in breakups and rejection. You know, we've all seen those memes of like a guy asking a girl out, hey, want to go out? And then later she's like, no. And then at the end he's like, well, I thought you were ugly anyway. He says it at the end.
oh my gosh.
Okay.
Because I think most people, I would say, have some kind of wound deep and down that has to do with either rejection or abandonment.
True.
And
I
so
was
that
just-
will trigger the heck out of them.
True.
I was just thinking, I was like, what are my true colors? I was like, it's always this like dragon that awakens. And I'm like, how dare
That's a good question.
So what does it say about me
How
if
have
every
you
time a
acted?
guy rejected me, that I would just be like, okay, bye, and then I'd be like, you'll never see me again. Just like I would just be going on a walk and like listening to
No,
a
but
song.
you weren't rude to him. I
Yes,
know.
your true colors
No.
are respectful.
But then secretly mad behind
Yeah,
the scenes.
which is not
okay.
bad. You're gonna be angry if someone
Distant.
rejects
Yeah,
you.
that's
True
true.
colors are
I just felt
distant.
hurt. Okay.
So in my
true
experience of rejecting guys, not like breaking up or like ending things and rejecting guys, then I've seen a wide range.
You've seen
of
red. You've seen
experiences.
green.
You know, like the
Variety.
weird passive aggressive stuff,
Oh,
the
gosh.
weird just aggressive
Aggressive.
stuff where it's
Yeah,
like,
what?
what is wrong? with
friggin'
you?
rude people who insult you?
I've seen guys like change like that, and it's like really bizarre. Like
That one guy
you
told
never
you
acted like that.
God doesn't love you when you broke up with
Whoa.
him.
Yeah,
That
that one
was
guy.
wild.
I told that in an episode. He had the
That was wild.
inspiration to say that for
Well,
some reason.
This is what
I
I'm
don't know
thinking.
why.
I
Where's
think his
that
thought was,
inspiration
let me
come
think
from?
of the most hurtful thing I could say.
Ugh.
Oh, there we go. God
Yeah,
doesn't love you.
crazy.
It was weird because we hadn't even talked about religion at that point. That was the very beginning. We didn't really have that much.
What a weirdo. Anyway,
Like that much time together.
That's-
Weird. So yeah, that's a great example. Some people get really weird and try to think of something really weird to say. So with that in mind, we're gonna start with some things to consider. So I'm assuming you're in this position and you're like, do I give this person a second chance? This is really common. People have some kind of problem in like a friendship or relationship, whatever it is, or an it's complicated thing, whatever. And they're like, I don't know if I should continue with this. They're at a fork in the road. What do I do? So let's start with some things to consider here.
So the first thing to consider is what we were talking about, basically. How did they act when you broke up? Were they
How on
gracious?
earth
Were
did
they
they act?
respectful? Did they have a meltdown?
If
Did they pray for you? I don't know.
Yeah.
They could have.
Were they overly aggressive? Like, no, please, you can't. I'm begging you. Were they calling you 18 times? My ex-boyfriend did that. What are they doing? Are they acting like? There's so many different ways they could act.
Yeah.
So I actually did break up with Nick, my husband, in the beginning of our relationship, and he was so sweet in the breakup. He actually sent flowers to me on what would have been our anniversary, because it would have been like the 6 month. It was like 6 months in. It would have been our 6 month anniversary.
That's really cute.
He sent flowers. It wasn't like an overly aggressive thing. It was, that was so sweet.
He was just trying to say that breakup, that didn't really happen. We're still together.
He was like, I still care. So he did that, but he didn't like attack me with texts and calls or anything. It was just like more of like a subtle thing.
If they
And
start stalking,
He was very respectful, very kind, did not like insult me. That's a big red flag when
That's-
they insult
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any?
I have a specific story that basically there was this guy that I dated before I met Max, and
Not after.
well, obviously,
Yeah.
but it was like really like not that. It was like less than a year before I met Max, and he just put in zero effort. Was not ready for a relationship, but really like wanted to talk to me every day and wanted me as like a female best friend or something. I don't know. It was really weird, but I liked him obviously, so I told him that I didn't want to be like. I didn't want to talk to him anymore because I was like, I can't just be like your best friend when I like you. And then as soon as I tried to break things off, he started like crying and like,
why do they always cry?
and like freaking out.
I'm sorry.
Okay if they cry.
And he was like, later's like, I'm hyperventilating. And I'm like, okay, no offense, but you didn't even want to go out with me on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
So why are you hyperventilating about me not being in your life if you don't even like, you can't just say, oh no, when I'm about to leave, I care about you so much, when your actions leading up to this point were the opposite of that. So
yes,
like,
exactly.
I
This
would
is
say-
listen,
I
this
see
is
what
a
you're
big
saying.
thing that I've seen where guys don't give a rip about you, and then as soon as you break up, they're like, "Wait, I just realized I love you. I'm obsessed with you." And it's like, no,
Yes,
yes,
and
you
they
just
always
don't.
cry when they
You
do
just
it.
don't want to lose something. You don't want to look like a loser, or whatever.
And yeah, and let me
It's
say
not my
that
fault.
I did give him a second chance relating to this episode, and he did not do anything differently. He acted like he cared for about a week, and then it went right back to how it was.
Wait,
No.
this is just like our song "Bad," the lyric that says when you decide you want me.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
You don't care.
No,
I'm
that's
just there
no
when you
good.
decide
In
you
no
want
good.
me.
No good. How does it go?
You don't
You
care.
don't care.
I'm just there when you decide
Okay,
you
how's
want
that?
me.
When you decide,
Uh-uh.
yes.
No.
I wrote that line.
No.
So our next tip is something that I actually did in that relationship, which was I made a pro and con list. Which
Yes.
I look at it now and I laugh. I'm like, those pros, really? You were reaching.
What were they?
reaching.
What were you?
Oh no, I can't
wanna
even remember. But I just remember like looking back at it and I'm like, really, Kath? Like fun to talk to or something? Like who gives a rip? You know, it's fun to talk to the cashier at the store. They could have a good personality. That doesn't mean nothing. If he's just
Nothing.
being a rat the whole time. But anyway, so
I know it's always like nice when really like are they that nice?
Oh
Are they?
it's
my
like
gosh.
nice, but he treats you like trash.
Like,
So-
congrats.
So nice.
Yeah,
so
congratulations, he
I would
has
say make a pro and con
manners.
list, and then the second step, which I should have done but I didn't. Instead of keeping it in, our mind, which can be quite a funhouse mirror at times, especially when you like someone, like I did, bring it to a friend who's honest. And be like, okay, what do you
Bring
think?
it to the Lauren in your
Everyone
life.
points at Lauren. She's
Send
very
it to
honest.
Lauren.
And be like, what do you think of this pro-con list? Do you think I'm being realistic here? Like,
And Lauren's gonna tell you no.
Guys,
Yeah.
if you send me a pro and con list
gonna
to my
roast.
Twitter,
Lauren will
I will
rip it.
tell you. I'll tell you my
Ooh.
thoughts.
Like
Oh, I like
literally, you could be like nice on one column, embezzling on the other. And
yeah,
you're like,
because this is the
great.
thing. You might have like 30 pros and like 5 cons, but the 5 cons like completely outweigh the pros. So you can't just look at like the number. You have to look at like how bad this is versus how good this really is.
For instance, like we said, serial killer. One con to outweigh every pro.
yeah.
Yes, you can listen.
Embezzling.
You can even rate each pro and each con 1 through 10, and then add them all up and see which column has a bigger
Oh.
number.
And
That's
if
true.
they're honestly kind of the same,
That's really not might
that
not be worth
I
it.
means
did
you
this-
should just move forward.
I did this
without
with my
them.
ex-boyfriend, and it was bad list. It wasn't that good, but I was like,
You was
it was like you were
reaching.
saying. It's how it always goes. You always like try to make the pro list really good. 'Cause
You're like,
Well, because you can think of all these pros when the
Yeah.
cons are like can't communicate, ignores me for weeks,
Won't
like,
commit.
People's real cons are I will feel alone. It's like you
Con
don't have to
doesn't
go hang with
want
your
to be in
friends.
a relationship with you. That's
Yeah.
a freaking big con.
One con to end them all.
Literally.
Quite the con.
Literally cannot. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Here's something though, because I've made pros and cons lists, even in my current relationship, learned me a big fat lesson where I was like, I'm so mad, me. And some of it was totally real and like valid. But as I went through the list and actually read it to my now fiance, I was like, wow, I'm really sorry that I'm so mad at you right now because I realized I didn't tell you half of these things. I've just been mad at you. And if you didn't tell someone, like if this is kind of more your inner relationship, if you didn't tell someone these problems, then I would say, yes, give them a chance. See if they work on them.
When you tell them.
Yes, when they are aware of what's going on and now they know how you feel, they know how these things make you feel and affect you. Are they gracious to receive it? Do they care about your feelings? Do they feel bad and they want to fix it? Or just like they understand now? Then see how it plays out. But if you did tell them, which, oh my gosh, I have friends that have told people many times what's wrong. Like they talk about it all the time. And then it's like, why do you need to give them a chance? Your whole relationship was a chance. You were vocal. You told them like, I need this from you. I need you to not do this. And they didn't fix it. Many times over years. Like you have your answer at that point.
Yeah. Another thing to consider is what were the fruits of your relationship? And this is a term that you may not have heard before, but it literally refers to like plants, trees, like a tree.
You are
like,
a tree.
Say you have an apple tree, right? And if the tree is healthy and strong and great, it comes with these beautiful apples, right? And if it's diseased, you get rotten apples. You get no apples. You get nothing. So it's like, is your relationship, like, if you look at it, what are the fruits? Like, okay, am I acting like a better person? Is this person leading me closer to God? Are they encouraging me in my goals? Am I acting better in my life and more aligned with what I want to be because I'm with them? Because if that's the answer, that's great. But if the fruits are, I am losing myself, I am
Losing all my relationships
Yes.
with people in my
Stressed.
life.
I'm losing my money, my time,
Losing
anything.
my identity.
Yes.
Losing
How-
my money.
a
Am
good
I
question.
farther from God than when I started?
A
Then
good question to ask yourself, how do I feel about myself since I got with this person? Some people it's a little more tricky because they're like, oh, I feel great, but they really don't. But for some people it's like, wow, I feel like crap.
So actually, it did happen to me in my first, or my ex, that's not my first relationship. I realized like, whoa, I don't have that many friends that I'm close to right now. This is weird. I kind of abandoned them all for him. Wrong. I
That's-
didn't do that again.
dead fruit.
I didn't do that.
Not good.
again. Another thing to consider is, did you identify all the issues in a relationship and then realize, oh my gosh, this is a toxic relationship and you're still fighting for it? Stop for a second and be like, is this truly toxic? Get real with yourself. It is. If you need to stop.
I feel like toxic is like, it's just kind of the point of no return. Like,
And you
it's
know
just
when you're
so
in that.
bad that this can't be fixed. Like,
Yeah.
you just gotta move on.
And also kind of a flip side to what we've been saying is like, are you just blaming them for everything? Like, yeah, they did this, they did that, they're the problem, when actually you were the problem though, or a big part of the problem. Like, have you looked into your behavior, your actions in the relationship and been like, yeah, I really did my best and I communicated and I like did all these good things and they just had all these issues? Or was it like, oh yeah, like they did these things, but also I did these things?
Yeah.
Because you can't just be like, yep, it's all their fault. when
No.
If
it
you don't look
definitely
at
wasn't.
yourself in any relationship, you're missing a huge opportunity
Not
to
gonna
grow.
Yeah, you're not going to grow.
It takes two to tango, people.
And even if the other person is like doing everything wrong, you still have a part in that, in my opinion, because it's like, well, I put up with it. Then at that point, it's your responsibility to like leave. But you always have a responsibility to like speak up for yourself or something like that. You know, if you're always looking at your part in things, you're going to grow more, even if you didn't really do anything wrong.
And if it's a case where like, okay, this person made like a huge mistake and now they're like, please take me back. This is what you have to look at. If someone's just saying, I'm really sorry, I don't know why I did that, like, I'm just so sorry, never do it again. You don't know why you did that, then how are you never going to do it again? How? If you don't even know what happened, I don't know where it was, I don't know what happened, it just happened. Like,
you didn't try.
you're
That's
gonna
kinda
do it
true.
again. So if someone's actually gonna change, they'll come to you and be like, okay, this is exactly what happened. This is why I did it. I was feeling this way, blah, blah, blah. This is everything that led up to it. And this is how I know I will never do it again because I understand why I did that. I understand what happened and I will never do that again. But how is someone never going to do it again if they don't even know why they did it?
Yeah. There's a quote that I saw on the internet. Don't know who it's attributed to. So whoever it is, great job. And it says, an apology without change is just manipulation. And it's true.
It's not about saying the words. It's actually about doing something about it. Saying I'm sorry, I think that counts for too much to some people. He said he was sorry. That's not what
It's
it's
like,
about.
so what? Everyone's sorry when they make a mistake.
When they're caught, too.
That just means they're not a sociopath.
Well,
Actions speak louder
maybe.
than words is like the best quote for this.
Oh, yeah. Our next thing to consider is if you are not attracted to them and you're like, pretend
This is just your friend.
Pretend it's your friend doing whatever this person is doing. Someone you're not clouded with like attraction towards. Would you still be friends with them? Would you cut them out? Would you let them back
I've
in?
totally
how would you
thought
feel?
of
What would you
that.
do?
Yeah, I've totally had that exact thought in relationships. Like,
Oh, that's a good
the
one.
big pro is that I'm attracted to them, but like all these cons,
Dude.
I would never put up with a friend.
With some guys, you lay out the list of all the things all the chaos they're causing in your life, and it's like, I would never be friends with someone that made my life like this. I would be like, bye. Why am I trying on their last name in my bathroom mirror and saying it could work, it could happen? Oh my god! You want that for the rest of your life? What?
Okay, I think that brings you to the next one pretty well. If your friend's significant other was doing this, what would you tell them? What would you be telling them? Just role play for a second, okay?
Ooh.
Just say, okay, this is my friend. Here's the person they're dating, and this is what they're doing. Exactly the things that are being done to me.
99%
What
of the
would I
time,
say?
you'd be telling them, get lost.
You
that's
would
what
be
you'd be saying.
soapboxing so hard. Like 1, 2. Like you would be,
One,
get
two.
out.
I feel like we already said this point. We can just go into the
Okay.
red flags now.
So we got a couple red flags. I feel like we can throw in a few more.
Ooh, we
You
love
know,
a
on
red
the
flag
spot.
here.
Yeah, we do. We love talking about red
we
flags.
love red flags
Because
because they're great warning
It
signs.
took us so long to. We just went "cuz" in the same tone. Because it took us so long to realize what red flags even were. Honestly, it took us a while. And once we all would discuss this with each other, we were like, "Oh my gosh, guys, this is a red flag!" Like honestly, I was kind of dumb before I learned these things. I didn't have an
You
older
were
sister.
just misinformed.
Yeah.
I didn't have an older
okay.
sister, so I was like, "Oh,
You were the guinea pig.
this is a red flag." What? I was shook. It was so weird. So let's start with the first red flag.
Okay, I already kind of said this one earlier, but if someone is just icing you out, so distant, whatever. Like I was dating this guy that literally made me feel like I was dragging a cross up a hill. It was so hard. Like he just did not give a rip. And then I ended things, and he's like, "Oh wait." I mean, he didn't even really care that much.
Oh,
but
wait.
some guys are like, "Oh wait." Like I said, I realized I love you, and it's like. How did you just realize that? I was right in front of your face. I was asking you to hang out. We were talking. You had my number. You had me in your grip. And you went, "Ugh, get. And now that I'm jumping out of your hand, you're like, wait. Like, that is a red flag in my opinion because this person had you and did not care. They did not care enough, especially again, if you told them your feelings and stuff and they're just like, I can't love you unless you are breaking up with me. Well, love me from a distance. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That is a red flag.
I think beware of like big gestures
That's
that they
what I
do
was
to win
gonna
you
say.
back because it should be simple. They messed up. They come up with a mature response, a mature, thoughtful, heartfelt apology, and then they say, "This is why I did it. I'll never do it again." That's all you need. You don't need some big thing. That's probably not a good sign.
I would say a red flag is you have to look at, is this a one-time thing? Like, oh, we had a miscommunication. We had a misunderstanding. I was expecting this and this was my expectation. And then the other person didn't understand that. We worked it out. We talked it through. That's one thing. That's what I would say merits a second chance. But is this a deep set pattern that's been going on for months? This person consistently makes you feel like you're not worth their time. Or this person consistently is on their phone when you are trying to tell them an important story. Like if there's something that's happening over and over again, that is a pattern. And I personally, honestly, for me, I guess everyone is different, but I've never had a second chance work out. I'm like, why'd you do that in the first place? Like, again, unless it's like a small thing, like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. You know, I had these expectations that need to be clarified. Like small things like that. I don't really know if I even consider that a second chance as much as like this person, they done goofed. And it normally didn't work. It never worked after I gave them a second chance.
Okay, I have some red flags from my ex, some real life red flags. Okay, so after we broke up, I was like, even though I broke up with him because he was dumb,
Typical.
but I was like, oh, he's going to change. He's going to get better, whatever. So here are 2 red flags he did. Number 1, they intentionally try to do things to hurt you.
What?
Duh, that's a red flag. He was
That's
like,
creepy.
Christina, I have a crush on your best friend. He didn't even have a crush on her. He just said that.
Whoa.
My
Okay,
gosh,
that's
dark.
a
He
level
just
10.
said that, and he was
Whoa.
like,
Wait, like after your breakup?
yeah.
Oh.
He said that to her, but I was like, I know you don't have a crush on her. But I was like, that's dumb. And then, other thing, he was like, he was trying to like, well, I guess the same kind of thing. He was trying to make me jealous by saying he was like going out somewhere with like some girl or something.
Nope.
He's
telling me that. Well, I'm like, what? I'm here trying to not hurt your feelings, and you're here trying to hurt my feelings. So intentionally actually trying to hurt your feelings, make you jealous. In that moment, it didn't hit me like, we're done. This is over, even though it was already over. Like, I'm done hoping for a second chance. I was still hoping for a second chance. Luckily, the last straw did come. I guess I could say a third red flag with the last straw. So the last straw was, I don't know what you label this red flag, but when I had been saying, oh yeah, we broke up instead of I broke up with him because I thought he would appreciate that more. And then he got mad at me and called me up and he's like, I heard you've been telling people we broke up when the truth is you broke up with me. Actually, the truth was he really broke up with me by getting me to break up with him, by doing things he knew would get me to break up with him.
What a sicko.
Because he had this thing. When I met him, he said, every girl I've dated has broken up with me. He gave me this like pity thing, and I didn't realize at the time. And I was like, "Aw," but it was actually this weird thing.
That is a red flag.
So he
He's
got
like,
me
why
to
are
do
they all
it.
breaking up with you? What'd you do?
Because you're a
So
sicko.
I don't know what you call that red flag, but he called me up and said that you've been telling people this, but the truth is this. And I was
so
like,
weird.
It's someone that just wants to play the victim.
Yeah.
That's what it's a victim narrative. That's what I
King
would call it.
victim
okay.
narrative.
So that was my last straw. Cause then I was like, whoa, buddy. That's not what I said. But I was just like, I was trying to not hurt your feelings by saying that. I thought you would, this would be fun. I thought you would appreciate that by me saying that. And then he just kept getting mad at me. I was like, okay, over it. And then I just click. And then I never tried to talk to him again. He kept trying to talk to me.
Ooh.
So that was my other red flag, real life red flags.
I got one. When a breakup is really hot and cold and back and forth and it's on and it's off and it's dramatic and
Ooh,
it's like
too much drama.
I got addicted to it. I loved it. I always had funny, interesting, sassy stories to tell people. I
Yes.
off my hair. I was like, "Mwah." But after a while, I was like, this is too much. This is so toxic. This is so draining. And we both love the drama and love getting back at each other. And then, oh, I miss you. Blah, blah, blah. It's like a movie. It's not real. Okay. If you're like up in these highs and lows and blah, blah, and like, I can't let him go. And should I give him another 50th chance? It's like, no, that's not real. Like when you're 50, 60 years old, married, whatever. I mean, I can't tell your future, but probably it's not going to be dramatic like that. You're going to be like
not.
folding laundry with this person, like chilling. Like, would you want to be folding laundry with this person when you're 50 years old? Would
a
they
great
be
question.
folding laundry with you? Or like, I'm on the couch playing video games. Like, you know what I mean? Is this person, will they be there for you? Because that always snapped me out of it. When I would imagine myself married to these people, I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I will go crazy.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Is that all our red flags,
Yeah.
ladies?
I mean, I think to summarize my thing is that did they make a real change or not? Like that's what it all comes down to. If you're going to give them a second chance, do you see a real change or is it all these fake weird things? That's all you have to look at.
yeah.
Love
Time
that.
will tell you.
Gotta look at the facts.
Yeah, trust your gut. If you're just like so freaked out about abandonment and being alone, which was me at that first relationship ending.
Most people.
And I was just so focused on that, like, I just really want to be with him. That's just a place of like panic. And that's not where you want to be for a solid, healthy, grounded relationship. I think that tells you need to take some time with yourself, with the Lord, you know, get grounded, build up your self-esteem. That's where we want to be. We don't want to come at relationships from a place of panic and desperation. I've been there. We've all been there. We're with you, but we want to get to a better place. So now that we figured out if you should give him a second chance or not, comment below. Just kidding. You don't have to tell us.
Wait, I want to say one more thing too, is that being with yourself and spending time alone is a great thing. I don't know why people are so
True.
afraid of it. Like,
Love
it
it.
is not a bad thing. You have all the freedom in the world. There's so much to do, so many things to try, so many hobbies. You can go anywhere at any time. You can stay out all night if you want. You
No
can
one's
sleep.
tracking you.
How
You
about
can
this,
sleep
guys?
in your backyard.
Give
Like,
yourself a second chance.
yes.
Yes.
Seriously.
You're
Just
You deserve it.
don't be afraid of it, okay? If
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I don't want to break up with them because then I'll be alone. Like, you'd be lucky
Maybe
to be
you should
alone.
be.
You're a great person. You're not alone. You're with yourself.
I love
okay?
that. So let's end it with that. Give yourself a
second
second
chance.
chance.
Yes. There
What,
was
no
you all
slow
along.
clap? Okay. So we're going to jump into the bag of random.
We're gonna jump into
We're going
the
to jump
bag?
into
Lisa,
the
jump in there.
No, we're gonna jump into the ballad of,
Of
the
the
salad.
salad.
that's a Raven. All right.
Okay.
Our sound guy is cracking up. All right.
No, it's
No, that's a
Oh,
Raven.
that's
I think
the hip hop.
she was pretending to be a vegetarian or something. She's like, I'm gonna play the ballad of the salad. I don't remember. I
She
don't know.
thinks that's
She's
what a
funny.
vegetarian is.
Okay, this week's bag of random
Ballad of the salad?
is what would you do?
oh, I'm excited.
I
The
don't
question
know,
is,
would I?
if you were asked to split split the bill at dinner where you didn't eat anything or just got a drink, what would you do?
It's like a big, I'm assuming this is like a big dinner with friends and you like went with them.
Yeah.
But you're like, I just ate, but I'll come out with you guys anyway. I'm just getting a drink.
This is
Yeah.
so
I
awkward.
feel like there's so many things to weigh
I'm
here.
cringing.
Number one, do I know these people really well, or is this like random people I don't know? Number two,
How are you doing
Can I
financially?
afford to split the bill?
That's a good
Can
question.
I not? I don't know, because if it's people I know and I can't afford it, I'll be like, hey guys, so like I literally only got this drink, so I
Yeah.
don't really think I'm gonna split this with you.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I would do. And I've been in the situation in the past and where I was out to dinner with people that were spending a lot of money on their din. And I was, on that budget grind. And I just got like a salad because I didn't really want to spend more than that. And they were like, let's all split the bill. And it was like $50 a person or something insane. So I was like, so what I learned from that is before that can even happen, if you are in a place where you're with people, like maybe you don't know them that well or like
Fabulous moms.
you don't know what's going to happen. Just be like, offer to be the one to do the math and be like, when the bill comes, be like, oh, I'll take it. And then just go through and be like, oh, here you go, here you go, here you go. Like, you be in charge of the bill so that
Wow.
doesn't happen. Unless
Yeah.
like it is your good friends, you probably know what to expect. But,
Also, you can let them know up front. too.
Yeah.
Be like, hey.
Is that what you would do? You're saying?
but that's so
Yeah.
awkward though.
Wait,
Like,
when
hey,
did I
nice to
do
meet
that?
No, you could
Ew.
say, hey, just so you guys know, I'm on that budget grind, as you
Yeah.
said. So I'm just going to get the
that
salad.
makes me so cringe.
What
But
I
don't
would
think
say that
could
if you
do
want
that.
to.
But also, I've never
don't
been
think you could say
to
that?
dinner
Oh,
where
so
people are
awkward.
like, let's all split the bill. So
Yeah, I feel like that's like old people
It
do
is
that
old people.
maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly acceptable to say,
I guess you
hey
guys are
guys,
old.
just want to let you know I'm on a really strict budget this week, this month, whatever. You could say that if you want. I'll tell you what I would do though. I wouldn't say that. But you could do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If a friend said that to me,
No,
I
there's
would be
nothing
like,
wrong with it, and I would not judge someone if they said that, but I would just feel awkward saying it.
okay,
You
so
have-
here's what I would do.
that's why you
um,
let them know up front before they can even get there.
In the situation, I would just pay. But if this happened multiple times, then at that point I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. If this like kept happening to me, no. I'll do it once, maybe twice, but 3 times, no.
Okay, wait. I didn't
No, no,
answer. I just realized. The question was if your friend asked you to split the bill. So if my friend asked me if I was in a good place financially, actually, no. If someone asked me to split a bill that I only got a drink, no matter where I'm at, I would just say,
what?
I only got this, so we could probably just do separate checks.
That's totally, I can see her.
Easy.
That's exactly
So
what she was
easy.
saying.
Literally.
There's
exactly
nothing
what she
awkward
said.
about that. There's
No,
nothing
there's
awkward about
nothing wrong with saying it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
because,
I'm just in a generous mood sometimes, so I just want to, but
Yeah.
I totally agree.
No, but
After
yeah,
I'd
some
be like,
people
Because my
genuinely
brain
don't
just
really
like, this
notice.
doesn't make sense. We're not
Yeah,
doing
some
that.
people don't notice. They're just ordering their own
I
food
would
and they're
get
like, oh.
heated in my brain.
Oh, you
I
would
Amy
be
would
very
get so
upset.
I would
heated.
get
Oh,
so
Amy
heated
would rage.
because you can't force me to spend money on
Yes.
something that I first of all was not informed of beforehand.
Yeah.
And like, if we're all like, know what, up front, we're like, okay, we're all gonna. I just don't know why you would split a bill. I just don't know.
yeah, if it's just one of those obvious things where it's like some people really didn't get much and some people really spent a lot here. That is kind of weird, but
That's weird.
whatever. To each their own. Now we have Venmo.
Yeah,
we have
Yeah.
PayPal. We have many things now that we didn't have before.
we have dollar
Yeah.
bills. Just,
So I think that helps the situation a lot.
Or here's another solution you could do. Just take the cash out of your
weird.
wallet slip it on the table for your portion and be like, gotta go to the bathroom, and then leave.
Why would you? No, that's too
You can't
spineless.
that's an extreme example.
Wait,
I've
you
never
go to
done
the
that.
bathroom and you leave.
You literally leave the restaurant.
Okay, don't do that.
Don't do
not
that.
Not do that. That's weird. You're not going to be
Guys,
invited again.
You can just have a conversation.
Yeah,
It's gonna
it's
be
okay.
okay. It's gonna be okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, that was a fun one. We're gonna go into our last segment, which is Sister Spotlight. We spotlight one sister every week, and she has her own little segment. We have Lauren's Take, Get Real with Christina, Sappy Thoughts with Kath, Amy's Current Crisis, exposing Lisa's weird past. And this week, the sister is
Wow, we always ding at the same
Lisa
time.
Ex-
I know.
me.
How do we do that? It's
We're in
crazy.
sync.
that is
It's
so
me. It's me.
weird.
Okay, so I have a list. I was not able to bring my journal today, but I have a list of
Shame.
something that I remembered. and I
no.
want to know if
no.
you got, I'm pretty sure some of you did this, and I'm looking at everyone in this room. So
Everyone in the whole room?
yeah, so tell me if you ever did this
Is
in
this
the
like put a
comments.
finger down kind of thing?
No. Okay, so I used to pretend long ago, I want to say I did this when I was probably like 11 to 15. And actually, I still do it all the time. But this was the weirder times was here. I would pretend that I was like famous on a talk show, being interviewed all the time. Did you guys
yes.
ever do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I've done
So-
in the shower.
I would in the shower. Why in the shower?
don't
But
know.
I would
think in the
interview,
shower, yeah.
get interviewed about the dumbest, weirdest things. I guess maybe this stems from like wanting to feel smart and like someone wants to hear what you have to say. So it's like I imagine that I'm being interviewed and someone cares about this. But it would be like I'm cleaning the toilet. And I'm like, yeah, so I always wipe it down with toilet paper instead of a rag or something because it's you just flush it and it's out of the way. You don't have to put it in the
you
trash.
really
blah, blah.
want to be an influencer.
Oh,
at your
yes.
age.
Horrified when
Yes.
you said that.
I
Just
literally,
the toilet part.
guys, and I would do that. I don't know. Every time I thought I was wiping the seat with toilet paper, I thought I was so smart. Blowing my
I
nose
do the
with
same thing.
blowing my nose with toilet paper, and like you just flush it. It's so great. I don't know why I was
just
so
love
proud
toilet
of that.
paper.
And it would always be like very silently to myself. Like I remembered the house was kind of empty, but I would just
Wait,
be
you were
imagining.
You
talking?
whispered.
I would
So you were
say it
whispering?
sometimes.
Oh my
Sometimes
God.
I'd say it out loud. Sometimes I'd just say it in my head, but I just always imagine I was being interviewed. I'm trying to remember. Okay, did the toilet one.
my
Sometimes
God.
I would like give, I guess I was an influencer. I'd give tutorials on how to clean the walls. I don't know why no one was there.
Lisa's quietly there scrubbing the wall. She's like,
Okay. And then I would also always explain like the meaning of life to
Oh, of course.
whover the talk show host was.
Oh,
course
always
you
lecture
did.
your future
I
children.
did. Oh yeah. And just like, what are we really here for? I don't know what I was
What
doing,
did you
but
say? Was this a kid?
I don't remember what the meaning of life was, but
Dang
this
it,
was
I
a
wanna
very
know.
specific one that I remember. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's two. So cringe.
You just made a real cringe.
Ugh, so first of all,
Biggest cringe I've ever seen.
I was obsessed with Zac Efron, and I can really see now, like I just wanted to be loved and accepted. So I would pretend that I got discovered by Kenny Ortega, the choreographer of High School Musical, and I would just imagine these interviews of like, wow, she's the best. She can dance, she can sing, she can do gymnastics. Like she is the most important, talented crew member on the High School Musical World Tour. Like I was like, oh, I want to be recognized. And then, I would play the piano. And I would imagine that I was dating Nick Jonas. Remember, I was 13. I was absolutely addicted to Nick Jonas. And I would play the piano and imagine that their family was sitting there listening to me. And I'm like, ugh, I would fantasize about this family that like saw me and thought I was so talented, which I honestly had, but it just wasn't verbal enough for me. I was like, I need praise. So I would sit there and play, and I'll just imagine them being like, wow, she just entertains us after dinner and we love it so much. And like, really
So
literally
psychological.
fantasized about like being accepted into their family and just like, oh, we couldn't be more pleased with our future daughter-in-law.
I can't.
Oh my
I can't
God.
hear.
So do with that what you will, but that was my weird past. And I was very tired last night, falling asleep, just like, oh, what can I do for that segment? And I was like, oh, no.
I wouldn't dare.
Oh, so
I never dare.
that is my sad,
That's really
pathetic
sad.
past.
Okay, sorry if anyone else does that though.
I
But
know.
you were like 13.
I was 13, and I still get interviewed in my head all the time, but it's more like,
of course
well,
you do.
it's almost like I'm just giving tutorials nonstop.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is how I do my makeup, but then I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should film this. I'm
Yeah.
like test driving it, and then I go, oh, that would be boring. But I test drive tutorials all the time, but it's not this fantasy of acceptance and like
Oh.
one day I
Lisa.
will have a family,
That's really sad.
So-
Okay, so
for
comment
watching.
below if you have done. How many was that? 4 things?
I don't know any of
Have
them.
you done those things before? If you're brave enough,
What do you get interviewed about?
comment below. I do have a memory of so I have a 7 or 8 based on the house we were in of doing a tutorial on brushing my hair.
Nice.
I was like, you brush it and it works so great. I don't know. I'm making up. It works so great. It makes your hair so shiny. It was in the middle of the night. I sat up in my bed and I had a brush in my bed. So I kept stuff on the side of my bed. So I was
Wait,
like,
in the middle of the night?
in the middle of the night, I was like,
Yes, it's like you just
that
want to
weird?
feel like you know these products so well. They work so well. You are smart and you've got the hookup. You know the secrets.
I don't know why I did that. I was like 7 or 8. It wasn't even like,
You-
I was really young. It was the old house. I don't
It's
know
like
why.
maybe it's like commercials getting into our brains.
Maybe.
Creepy. All right. Well, that wraps up our first episode back. I was going to say back at the Cimorelli podcast for season 5. If you want to see the next episode, all the even episodes. All the even episodes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, those. Those are all on Patreon. So join our Patreon. The link is in the description. The next episode is actually on money, finances, and our top tips for managing, handling your money, saving your money. We have some great tips, you guys. So join our Patreon. You're not only going to get all those episodes in this season, but you're also going to get all the episodes you missed in the past seasons that are not on YouTube. Plus, there's way more than the podcast on our Patreon. Like I said, there's a ton of cool stuff on there. So go join it. Try it out for a month. See if you like it. Take in all the content. New content comes out like every week, I think. Yes, true. Right? True. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And we will see you guys in the next episode. If you're on Patreon. Otherwise, we'll see you in episode 3.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.